Hey guys, what's up? Tom here, and I'm coming at you with a deck profile for Ben's channel, and it is my 15th place Colchester Regionals Crusadia Guardragon deck. Now, 15th place might not seem the best, but I still managed to get my invite, and I kind of threw the last game because I actually just couldn't be bothered. It was one of those ones where I was very tired. I'd had a long, very, very long morning and didn't have a chance to actually eat anything. So I was starving by the end of the day, and kind of did the maths on it and got it. And I got my invite regardless. And I only dropped two matches. One of them being the final round. And another one, and that was to Salamangre, and another one was to Sky Striker. I also played a second striker, and I beat them 2-0. I played Pendulum Magician and beat those 2-0. Played against Zombie Orcust 2-0 again, and lastly True Draco, which was a 2-1 victory for me. I think that's all of them. If I remember one, I'll say it through the profile. But anyways, moving swiftly on to the actual profile itself. We played 40 cards, and we'll start off with the actual Crusadia monsters. So we maxed out on 3 of each. Absolutely nuts, guys. I wish I saw this in general when I needed it. I never really saw it in my opening hand. I saw every single of the other one, but never the Reclusia. This would have been way better if I played against more Subterra, but it's fine. And this was terrible. I never, ever, ever summoned it unless I had to use it as part of my link climbing combo right at the start. So opening this, I just use it as a material and that's it. I'm very, very heavily considering cutting it, but I guess 16 Crusadias is better than 15. And then onto the broken part of the deck, being the dragons. So we're obviously playing the MVP right here, Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. The fact that you basically resolve this like twice and potentially even 3 times in a turn is so unfair. It just gives you so much more access. You make so many more plays off of this. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then the Goliath. We didn't play Dark Matter in the extra, so we're not playing the Archbrave, but being able to draw into this and locking your opponent out of the extra deck is still pretty good. I think this is the better build. I mean, I didn't see it either, really. I mean, the only time I saw it was against True Draco. And obviously then you just have to shuffle that back in. there's no way that you're going to want to summon this against Draco. And then 2 Destrudo for level 7 synchros, and also being able to make Borrowload Savage if you target one of your level 3s, because we do play 9 level 3s, I believe. You use this and then you synchro off with a level 4 to make Borrowload Savage and equip a Saryuja from Grave, which just makes it stupidly strong. And it gives it 4 negates. Well, one negate for 4 turns, I should say. But yeah, and then the Gamma Seal, which is the thing I summon the most often off of Saryuja. And then lastly, we've also played the Little Dragon package of 3 black, 1 white. You open 2 Crusadias in either one of these, and you have double Saryuja confirmed. Without playing through interruptions, I should say, though. That's the only sort of downside to this deck, is that it loses very, very heavily to interruption, and you just kind of have to deal with the fact that you can't do anything. But yeah, I wouldn't change this ratio for the world. Lastly, I was very, very scared of Striker, so I decided to play 3 Cat, 1 Elephant, just so I was able to make Nat Beast. You use this before you summon your Pisty. To bring back so you summon this off Saryuja, and then you summon your dragon, make Pisty, and like do the Agapane shenanigans, because then you contribute this off, summon the 2 guys, and go from there. So just it means that you can utilize both of the special summons of Saryuja as opposed to just one of them. And that's it for monsters, I believe. If I just do the maths quickly. We played 29 monsters, and we are playing only 11 spells. being 3 Waterfront because Gamma negates are silly, 3 Call by the Grave because we are a combo deck, and then we played 5 Extenders, being 2 World Legacy Guardragon, 2 World Legacy Succession, and the 1 Reborn. Obviously, you'd want to play this at 3. I would probably ditch one of each of these if this was at 3 and just play 1-1-3, but, you know, we can't always get what we want. And yeah, the only reason I played 2 of each as opposed to 3 of each is because they are hard ones per turns, and they can be bricks if opened in multiples. And the best part about the deck is that the fact that you make double Sayuja, so you're theoretically drawing 8 cards, you're digging 8 cards deeper into the deck, as well as your searches. So with like Why the Burster and Collapse Serpent, alongside your Magia's search as well, which is pretty good. So all in all, the main combo, your main 3-card combo, you are searching 1, 2, 3 cards, and you are drawing 8. So you're technically digging through 11 cards of your deck, which just makes deck thing, which just makes it easier for you to draw your 2-ofs. But we only played 2-ofs of the bricky cards, and everything else was either a 3-of or your garnets were 1-ofs, or if they were limited. But that's it for the main deck. On to extra deck. So we only played 1 of each Crusadia. I found this to be correct, I guess. The only time I ever really made Regulex was if I was going into the Equimax. I kind of missed the second Magius, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It was, I guess, maybe one matchup against one of the Sky Strikers where he kind of answered my Sparta, and I would have been able to continue with my play if I had the second Magius. But if I can find the space to put a second one in, I'm definitely considering it. But for the event, I was totally fine with just playing 1 of each. And then next up, we're playing the 1 of each Guardragon. So we're playing 1 LP, 1 Pisty, and 1 Agapane. You don't need to play anymore, I don't think. You can play 2 of the Pisty, but like that's if you're going to be playing a grind, and especially with this deck, like you're either OTKing your opponent or you're making a board of like 4 negates, 5 negates, and just stopping your opponent dead in their tracks without even them basically being able to do anything. And then for Link Force, we played 2 Skuldred, and we also played 1 Boral Sword, MVP. Again, you're drawing 8 cards off of this guy, and you get 2 free special summons, which is pretty good. It also gives all of your guys a 300 boost. I mean, I don't need to tell you what Sayuj does, you all know, but that 300 boost really does come in handy, especially when you're summoning a 2500 Nat Beast. It makes it a little bit more difficult to get over. And then obviously Boral Sword, I don't think I ever hard made this. I summoned it off of Agapane once or twice. Once against the Pendulum matchup for sure, because it was just the easiest way to get around it. This plus Thunder King is 93 damage on top of all the other monsters that you're probably summoning anyways. And then for the Synchros, we played 1 Nat Beast, 1 card that I basically never made, and I'm definitely considering cutting. 1 card that I always made if I was making a level 7 Synchro. This card is insane. Going first and second, it stops your opponent from targeting your stuff, and then going second, it's depending on what deck you're playing, it's basically free monster removal regardless. And then Borrello Savage, which I actually didn't make today, but it does come up. Like, I don't want to drop this card because it is really it's a really strong card to make. It just very rarely came up. But being able to make this on top of like Cyber's Quantum and like a Nat Beast with Gamma Seal in this is nuts. This being Crystal Wing, which is like the only target you summon off of Agapane normally going first. I play Crystal Wing over Abyss because I like Abyss. I like Abyss. I don't like Abyss because it only hits face-up cards. And if I wanted to do that, I would just spunk all my resources into making an Equimax. Because that does the same thing. But yeah, moving on to the side deck. So we played three more Kaijus, being 1 Gamma Seal, 1 Dogoran, and 1 Thunder King. I found these ones to be the best. These 2 are insane going second. This one's great going first. The fact that you can search these 2 and they're not quick effects, so you can give them to your opponent with a Q to Waterfront out is just nuts. Or you know, if your opponent doesn't have a board, like against the True Draco player, I really luckily managed to call it right, and I twin twisted his one of his back row and his Draconic Diagram, which meant he couldn't actually search, he couldn't resolve anything. So he had to discard his entire hand with an open board. So I just summoned this, and yeah, went Boral Sword and killed him, which was great. And then the hand traps, we had to play hand traps. We played 3 Ash. This was originally Droll. Spoiler alert, I still play it. It was originally Droll. But then I was kind of really scared of the Subterra matchup. I'm not very pleased with control decks. I think they're probably the worst deck for me to come up against. But nonetheless, I found that this and Impermanence were the 2 best ones to go up against it. But this was definitely the more optimal 3 of, as it did hit other decks, I think, more in this format than it did with anything else. Like compared to Impermanence, just a personal preference on that. But yeah, and then we played 2 Draw because I still like it can hit Sky Strikers depending on how they play, and also Dangers. That's the one, I could not remember the name. Dangers and also True Draco. This is the only time this card came in, actually. So I think I might even just get rid of it altogether. I found myself, when going up against Dangers, like, yeah, it can stop them dead in their tracks. But, like, you just OTK your opponent anyways, so you shouldn't really care. You can basically play through most boards with this deck. We played 2 Twin Twister. I took one of these out and a second Gamma Seal on the side for the 2 Droll, kind of really regretting it. I also played very jankily with this card. I sided 1 in against the zombie deck, and I managed to draw it when I needed it most. Going second, going up against an nearly an Azathoth and a Baladrop being summoned from grave. During the standby phase, I chained this because I thought that Baladrop wouldn't resolve. Unfortunately, it did, but he still couldn't respond to any of my effects, and I drew 3 Crusaders and a Kaiju alongside a Destrudo, which I discarded off the Twister, and then just killed him from there because he couldn't Azathoth me. 3 reboot because we're going second. Well, when we go second, we need to make sure that we're not going to get final battled or we're going to get striked or anything like that. So, again, I think it came in once. It was only because I wasn't super scared of much of the back row. Like I sided it in against the Salamangreat player because I thought I may as well at least try. Game 1, I did actually try, and then game 2 sort of realised. I was like, oh, I'll pretend like I know what I'm doing. And then lastly, we played 2 Impermanence to round off the hand traps as well. The fact that I can play this going first, as well as things like Ash and Droll, like I can side like 2 ofs in because obviously they're bricky opening, but you can draw into them off of Sayuja, and then you would just have that extra kind of hindrance to stop your opponent. Like it's just more disruptions, which is really good. But yeah, that's kind of it for me. I just want to give a couple of shout outs to some of my pals up at the Ace Comics Gaming Centre in Colchester, the host of the event. Give big shout outs to them. They're also my local hobby shop. Shout outs to my friend Tim for basically getting me most of the cards that I needed. Yusuf for a lot of theory crafting, alongside Ben as well. He really helped me. And just a shout out to all of the guys that attend, the locals up there, and just help me test constantly for the event. You're the reason I even managed to do so well in the first place, and you're the reason that I managed to get my invite, and I'm going to Holland, and I couldn't have done it without you. So, but enough of the soppy shit. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, drop a like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you think of the deck. I'm probably going to ditch it now and play something like Salamangreat because I'm trash. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.